千里之行，始于足下。A journey of 1,000 miles begins beneath the feet. We now gather in the Tao to travel the journey together. Welcome to Tao Talks with Derek Lin, where we take a deep dive into the Tao Te Ching by Lao Tzu. As always, I want to extend my welcome to you. Thank you for joining us. I would like to invite you to center your thoughts and direct your attention to this moment in time, to the here and now, to be fully present and mindfully aware as we are ready ourselves for this sacred process in the Tao with one another. Let's examine in further detail the thought process of the ancients. And I hope everyone finds this examination, this in-depth examination of the thought process, the reasoning steps, as interesting as I personally do. So with the previous slide, we can see how the concepts of gods came about. As I mentioned, human beings are part of the myriad of things that emerge from the Tao. Therefore, human beings conceive of gods, and then the gods are conceived of as powerful entities. People think of the gods as incredibly powerful. But I think when you look at the previous slide with the progression, it is just as easy to see that the Tao is incredibly greater than even the gods. The Tao is at a completely different level. It is beyond the gods, just as the gods are beyond us. It is the ultimate source. The Tao is the source of everything, including the concept of gods. This is the point that Lao Tzu made. Line 2 of this chapter, chapter 4, says the Tao seems to be the source of all things. While being the ultimate source, it is also empty. It is the emptiness that contains all potentialities. Therefore, it is not just the ultimate source, but the ultimate void. Line 1 of this particular chapter also says the Tao is empty. And as you saw, we represented this original state, wuji, with a circle. It can be described with a character, xu, which means emptiness. So in addition to the circle that you saw in the previous slide, I'm also providing this character here, which is key to this particular chapter. Now, this idea, this concept of emptiness, it's not just at the very beginning, as maybe suggested in the previous slide. It's not just that the beginning was empty. The essence of emptiness is something that the sages have made very clear. It is the fundamental nature of the Tao. So the Tao is always empty, has always been empty, will always be empty. It governs the universe, past, present, and future, with that essence of emptiness. Now, having all of those concepts in the mind, let's take all of that and then zoom in on humanity itself, on us. We emerge from the Tao, so we reflect the Tao. Or I can say it another way, we come from the Tao, so the Tao is within us. So this is what my diagram here is showing. Now, because we reflect the Tao, that's got a bunch of implications. First of all, it is natural for us to seek alignment with the Tao. What I mean by that is there's a part of us that yearns to understand what it is, even if we call it by different names. We may not even know the label Tao, it's just a label. We ask questions like, well, who am I? What am I exactly? What am I doing here? Why am I alive? Where am I going in this life? How will I get there? So it's typically the people that have more awareness about life itself, about existence itself, that resonate with what the Tao talks about. And that brings us together to the here and now. So literally, this is how reality operates. And in our hearts, because we reflect the Tao, we take on the potentiality to manage the emptiness. We are sort of like a mirror of the great Tao. And that emptiness of the Tao, as the original and continuing essence of the Tao, can, within us, be the virtue of humility. So now it makes sense. Everything makes sense. With this internal virtue, we have the ability to manifest powerful potentialities. This is why we say that an empty mind is like an empty cup. The empty cup is ready to receive the pouring of fragrant tea. The fragrant tea of wisdom is poured into the empty cup, symbolizing the empty mind. Therefore, if we are not aligned with this universal principle, we end up not being able to receive that, meaning we learn nothing. We go nowhere. When we do align ourselves with it, well, we can learn anything. We can go anywhere. That's the powerful principle of the Tao manifesting in our lives. So we can see this is the reason why Lao Tzu gave us the 4 directives. They are the key in utilizing the Tao. As Lao Tzu says in the beginning, we can use it as much as we want because it never runs out. It is infinite. A lot of people are not aware of it, and therefore they don't know. But since we are aware, it is now our responsibility to tap into the Tao. This is exactly as we have always been meant to do. And as soon as we realize this is the case, the entire chapter comes into clear focus. Those 4 ways that we're supposed to use the Tao is tied to all this, and ultimately tied to the emptiness manifesting within us as humility. Our meeting has come to an end, but the journey continues on. Until next time, may the Tao fill you with peace and happiness.